So good evening everyone. So welcome back to our meditation session. So today again I will speak on the related topic that we have been contemplating. So we'll try to link with it, which is the Bodhipakkhiyadhamma. And at the moment we are contemplating on the first five, which is the indriya or the faculties. So five faculties, which starts off with the faith or belief, and energy or effort, the mindfulness, and concentration, and the last one is the wisdom. So I think that today I will focus on the second part of this second factor, which is the virya or the effort, or the energy. We did discussed and contemplated on that virya for a significant amount previously on different main factors of the principles, like the second factor, which was solely dedicated towards this effort, which is called samapatthana, the right effort. And this right effort also comes under the Eightfold Noble Path. In that Eightfold Noble Path, or the samapatthana, the right effort, we discussed on four different types of the efforts, starting from stopping any unwholesome things to come into your mind, uprooting any unwholesomes from your mental state or mind or habit patterns, and developing wholesome, and maintaining and developing, further cultivating on that wholesome deeds. So with that, we discussed quite a bit of things on that. So now again, on this section, which is the five factors or indriyas, and in a way it's a leading factor. The second factor is the virya. So here also it repeats again. Now here, referring to the mental efforts, so that's a mental effort to cultivate further on. Now, as we know that when we look at the Buddha's his own life, we recollect that before his enlightenment, all the traditional practices, all different types of meditation practitioners, and even ascetics, and those practices were pretty much hoping to gain the insights and a liberation. But after Buddha invested his time and practiced, he realized that that was only the physical form, or working on the physical state, not on the mental state. So then he, after investigated that, he then, rather than spending on the physical torture and working on to the gaining the physical existence in a certain states, which, as we know, there are 8 different mental states we can attain, as well as some supernatural qualities. Then he realized that these are not the end of it. So then he spent his time investigating inside his own mind. And that's how he was enlightened. So that's why in this section it is about the mental activity, that how much we manage to work on that in terms of the mind. So that's why it's called Bhavana Vidya, so which means the meditative effort to cultivate the inner strength. Now, this is not easy things to do, and oftentimes, when someone is going through some problems, and then he or she is recommended that meditation may help you to deal with that, then straight away the energy just comes out, and then we'll come to meditate, and then thinking that after this one-off of meditation I will be free, all the ailments will be gone, and I will be fit as used to be. But that doesn't work like that. The moment when you come to meditate, it's not easy things to do. And even just to focus on the meditation object, it becomes harder. Forget about coming to the mental state. And as a result, there are plentiful members of a community that I have seen comes for one-off and then disappear for a whole year or a couple of years, or never return to the practice. So this is like that sort of energy. A beginner's energy can be a very energized, but if we do not continue, then it will go away. And mentally got to be more fit. So that's why they say what's called the routinely practicing is the key, then one-off. So routinely practicing gradually seeps into the mental state, and then gradually we got to know what's happening. Now you may notice most of the Buddhist monks or nuns, even I have been instructing meditation mostly in a basic levels, and that's simply to put our foot on the basic states. And as we practice on that basics for again and again, we become used to with that and become familiar with that. Then there will be no trouble of forgetting, or there won't be any forgetfulness in it. So straight away we know that, okay, this is how we practice. Let's say like when we do the sitting meditation, sitting in a comfortable position, close our eyes and let go of all the hindrances, and then just focus on the primary object. Now here in this primary object, again I have been referring again and again that you have to choose one object to work with, so that you have firmly established one. And then you're working on that again and again, and eventually it becomes a part of your practice. When it becomes a part of your practice, automatically mind simply takes that in and then able to practice. At that moment, now on, we don't have to force to our body, we don't have to force to pay attention to the breath or the abdomen. So that moment, mind automatically goes to the calmness. When it goes to the calmness, now here, we have to switch a little bit here. When it comes to the calmness, oftentimes we dozed off, or oftentimes we simply settled ourselves on it, and the mind becomes so still that nothing is happening, and then there will be the thought of there is nothing, it's just that. So in that case, we have to put a little bit of a push that, okay, now come back to the body again, come back to the primary object again, like that. So when we are working in that way, then the mind, rather than working on the physical body, working on outside objects, we begin to see and notice these mental activities. How the mind is putting effort towards paying attention to the object or paying attention to the other things. Now obviously, the more we practice, then this becomes regular. So another thing is that the more we become familiar with that, the basics of the practice, so the rest, it comes automatically. So in that case, the samadhi, the concentration, gradually developing there again and again, because we are visiting the same method, same practice, sitting comfortably, paying attention to the breath and abdomen. And when we are paying attention to it, we have a sufficient energy to sit in that amount of the time, and then we have energy to be mindful of this breath coming in, going out, rising, falling again and again and again. So there is a consistency of the effort being applied. Whenever we apply that one, and then we recognize the mind goes off, then there is again the consistency of the effort applied, that my mind is no more with it, it's been gone. Now again, we remember the method, the tools, so recognize that to bring it back again. Observe, acknowledge, note, and bring it back again. So that process, when we're repeating again and again, there arises the concentration as well as the wisdom, so which will focus later on, the concentration and the wisdom. So this energy, the effort that we are applying, basically, it's also nurturing the mindfulness to grow, or the sati to grow. And this nurture actually creates the awareness of what's happening here, mindfulness of what's happening here, and that's how the concentration becomes stronger, as well as the wisdom gradually begins to sprout, seeing one thing after another, one thing after another. So that's why the energy is one of the key factors of the development of the practice, which requires the consistency and regularity in the practice, rather than just run towards the end and then halfway through, run out of the energy. So regularity in small steps and coming back to the same steps again and again leads to the success eventually. So I offer this as a reflection for tonight, and with this, let's practice meditation. Sitting in a comfortable position, relax yourself, leave all your responsibilities aside. An awareness of your presenceness here in this moment, sitting on the cushion or on a chair, acknowledging yourself. Like sitting in front of the mirror and looking at your body, so observing the entire body as you're sitting and releasing whatever tensions are there. You may observe the tension that you're sitting on a cushion or on a chair. How do you feel? any warmness or any pressure. What about your shoulders? Any tensions on it? So drop it up. Let the cushion or a chair holds you. As you experience the pressure or the feeling, the touching between your body and a cushion or a chair, expanding that feeling towards the entire body. And now your mind is projecting as a clear mirror that you're observing your sitting body. Crystal clear. And what you can observe now is the breath, the movement of the body due to the breath coming in and going out. And locating that sensation in one particular place. So you're using 2 points, and you can choose whichever you feel comfortable with, the breath in your nose or in your belly, and working with that. And now here, checking your effort. We have an object, which is the breath in your belly or in your nose, let's say in our belly. So breath in your belly, this is the object. Our intention is to be mindful of this breath in our belly, rise and fall. Checking your effort, that how much or how close you can pay attention to it. Noticing each time when it rises, each time when it falls. So this is the moment of checking our effort to be mindful on the object or intended object. And each time, suppose mind drift away into any other distractions, at that time, how quickly we can apply our effort to recognize it and mindfully, without generating any pleasant or unpleasantness on that object, or desire to hang on, or a wish to resist. Let go and mindfully back to this object, rising, falling. So mindfully checking that the first act of the effort is to have this intention to pay attention to on this rising and falling of abdomen, and noticing that how much effort you've been applying to be mindful each time when it rises and falls. When it is distracted, when the mind is distracted at that time, how quickly you can apply your energy or effort to recognize it and let go. And back to this object again. The same routine repeats again and again, and see how much effort you have applied to continue your practice. So continue practicing until you hear the gong.